Hello and welcome back to another video here with me, Meoni, for Final Fantasy XIV. This time a news-related video talking about the next Moogle Treasure Trove event, the Hunt for Esoterics. In particular then, this new Moogle event will be taking place from Monday, March the 15th at 1 AM PDT until the launch of 5.5, which we have yet to get complete finalized information on, but it's looking like that will be April the 13th. So quite a way then, quite a way of content to fill. So they thought they would fill it with some Tomestone rewards. Now featuring in these images we have the Namazu earring making its return. This looks like the Blissful Kamoi to me, and this is the Tyrannosaur mount from Eureka. So, interesting. We'll talk about these as we go down. So if you don't know what this event is, essentially, basically you challenge an objective, you collect the Tomestones from completion of the objective, and you exchange them at Moogles inside the three major city starting states, Limsa, Minsa, Aldar, and of course, Gridania. There's a Moogle, itinerant Moogle at each of those locations. And like I say, you've got until the launch of 5.5 rather. Brain, please activate. So as you can see, you'll also be able to see in the duty finder if something is eligible for a Moogle Tome reward, and it will also tell you how many in the game, how many you're going to get. If, however, you're interested to see how many gets you the most Tomestones per run, then you get 10 tomes per run of the Praetorium, unskippable cutscenes about an hour of your time. Awards 7 Tomestones, so this is Orbon Monastery and Castrum Meridum. Orbon Monastery is probably the better out of the two options there. Meriadenum has long cutscenes, much like Praetorium, but are unskippable, whereas Orbon obviously has skippable cutscenes, and should be relatively easier, even though it's a higher level. 6 Tomestones can be acquired from doing Ridorana Lighthouse completions. 5 for the Royal City of Rabanasta, which, by the way, is actually really, really easy to do. The synchronization, the level sync in there is a little bit dumb, and it goes by very, very quickly. This might be the fastest way. I know it's only 5, but you'd probably be able to get maybe 3 runs of this in by the time that you've completed something like Orbon Monastery, or definitely of Praetorium. 3 or 5, we've got Seal Rock Seas, Borderlands Ruins, Fields of Glory, Onsal Hakir, and Hidden Gorge. So this is a return of PvP stuff. So you can do your PvP, level 30 PvP stuff to get yourself some Tomestones if you wish to. And then we got Tomestones from Dungeons. So Aurum Vale has 4 per run, Keeper of the Lake 4, Amdapor, and Wanderer's Palace as well. And then there are all places that award 3, which is Desmold Darkhold, which is a level 44 dungeon. Of course, all of these places need to be synchronized. You can't unsync them, sadly. And places that award 1 Tomestone include these random 4 Wings of Alexander, which is very interesting why you would basically get 1 Tomestone per completion. I suppose it's because they're quite fast, especially Fist of the Father. But anyway, more importantly, you might be wondering, what are the rewards this time? This time I'm going to go through like I usually do and show them in-game as we talk about them. I thought that would be nice to do once again. So like I say, there are the locations of those Moogles in those 3 starting city-states. The top reward then this time around is a repeat, is the Namazu earring. This is something that will cost you 100 Tomestones to actually acquire, which are many, many runs of content, or 10 of Castrum Praetorium, which, that's nearly 10 hours worth of Praetorium runs. I've got this personally. This is what it looks like in the game. I think it's one of the coolest little rewards, not for everyone. It is an earring, after all, and only covers 1 ear, but it was a must-have for me because I love Namazu in particular, and I'm very happy I could get this one, and I'm kind of grateful that other people can get the opportunity to get it again, but I would have preferred if they had introduced a brand new reward this time to keep me happy. But there we go, we can't all have it all the time. The next reward then for 50 is the Blissful Kamoi 5. This is the one that you get from obviously doing Lakshmi on Extreme. This is what this dog looks like in the game. If you've yet to get this from that particular fight, then 50 tomes will be your go-to for this. 5 runs of Praetorium. The Tyrannosaur Horn is the next one for 50, which looks like this. This was originally from Eureka Anemos, from a chest from the lockboxes. It was kind of common, actually. We ended up doing Anemos and ended up with like 5 or 6 of these in our inventory. It has an incredibly high drop rate, so perhaps maybe an hour or 2 in Anemos is probably going to be better than 50 tomes, but you know, it's each to their own. Next up we have the Falcon Ignition Key, originally part of that veteran reward scheme, which didn't end up working out. That's 50 tomes as well. Then we have the Magitech Predator. The Magitech Predator is from, of course, Alamigo. Pretty low drop rate mount, so if you missed this the first time, then this is probably one of the nicest ways of getting a hold of it. Then we have the Decisions theme, which is basically the theme from Deltascape 4 against XDEF, which sounds like this. Which I think you'll agree is quite an epic piece of music. Then we have for 30 tomes, now we're on the 30 tome section, the Ultima Horns. This is something you could previously get for doing fates. I think this is the Proto-Ultima Fate, isn't it? In Azazlar, and you can exchange the plates for Ultima Horns. That's what they look like in the game. Kind of cool, kind of devilish. Quite interesting, actually, quite unique, because the horns are asymmetric, which is something that you don't find in a lot of glamour pieces. This is equipable by all classes level 1 and above, which is really quite nice. Next we have a series of mounts that will cost you 30, quite a few. So the return of the Beast Tribe mount. So we've got the Drake Horn, which of course will spit fire when you want it to. The Laurel Gobu, which of course is, you know, another Beast Tribe. We've got the Elbst Horn as well. We've got the Bomb Palanquin. And then we've got, at the 30 tier, we also have some of the whistles. Well, actually, finally, we have the Direwolf Whistle, which is the other Beast Tribe mount. And then we have 3, in particular, horse mounts. So we've got Gulifaxi, of course. We've got Markarb. And we have Nightmare, which is the one that's relatively difficult to get, which is a black unicorn. Those will all cost you 30 tomes. Then we have, for 30 tomes, you can get an MGP Platinum card. The MGP Platinum card adds 50,000 MGP to your Gold Sorcerer account. So maybe if you've got everything else and you're doing this content passively in the background, then you are going to mount up some MGP by basically exchanging for Platinum cards. Then we have, in the 15 tome tier, everything from Middle Lenosha Riding Map, all the Lenosha, Fanalan, Kurthus, Mordona, all of these riding maps will cost you 15 tomes each. Basically, they will just increase the speed of your mounted ground speed in that area. But of course, most places, well, everywhere now has flying enabled. So they're a lot less useful than they used to be. But it's quite nice to have if you want to collect them regardless. Then we have 2 minions for the 7 tier, which are the Iron Dwarf and the Salt and Pepper Seal, which both look like this. The Iron Dwarf is an interesting one. Never really cost that much, in my opinion. It wasn't really that expensive. But, you know, it's cool to have for 7 tomes if you haven't got that. And the Salt and Pepper Seal is the best minion in the game, so, and it's always fetched a high price, so it's nice to see that's available for 7 tomes as well. Also in the 7 tome range, we have the Fat Chocobo card, which is something that you can only usually get as a very low chance from the VAF Triple Triad challenge over there, which is, I think it's a 1.8% chance of getting that card or something ridiculous. It says on the website for collection, or you can go to the Fate in the south side with the giant turtle, which requires quite a lot of people. So yeah, getting the Fat Chocobo card for 7, quite nice to add to your collection. Quite a rare card, but it's, you know, a fairly basic card. It's just 5s on every corner, which, I don't know, might be some use to some people. Then we have the Griffin card, of course, from the Griffin. And we also have the Zervan card from, guess what? Zervan. Then we have 2 more Orchestra models. We have Smolder here, which I believe is the theme for the Beast Tribe, the Amalja, right? And then we have Coming Home as well, which is the theme for the Sea of Clouds Beast Tribe, the Vundu tribe. Ah, my brain, please. Then on the final things we have, for 5 tomes, we can get Mariner Cotton Cloth. It just looks like you get 1. Mariner Cotton Cloth then is used for making a few pieces of glamour in the game. I suppose it's a good way of making lots and lots of cloth. I'm not really sure why you would want to, though, because you're already going to see the market collapse on this stuff now, but maybe you want to hoard it for the far future. This might be a good way of getting it, or if you want a direct gil exchange, although the sale price is 1 gil, you might be able to get a few gil for this, but a lot of people might be selling this cotton cloth, or at least the things crafted with it. And then finally, you get 10 Job Mastery Firework Prisms for the price of 1 tome. So in total, as we can see here, this isn't necessarily much new content added to this. In fact, you know, there really isn't anything new added this time, but it's not a massive problem, and it's nice to have some returned items. The Namazu earring, I would suggest that you would definitely go for this if you missed it last time. Yeah, it's I don't know how long this is going to be around, but it's my must-have. Other things to pick out for the Ultima Horns, because the Fates are kind of annoying to farm for. If you haven't got those, you might want to go grab them. Obviously, the Beast Tribe mounts. I mean, if you haven't already done the Beast Tribes, you're probably better off doing those, because you get minions from them as well, and titles and stuff. But if you just want mounts, then they're there. Riding maps are probably the least priority for me personally, since we have flying and the Salt and Pepper Seal. That has to be your go-to as well. Everybody should have that minion by the end of the next month for sure. Although no friends of mine. Anyway, let me know what you think about this particular Moogle event. If you're excited for it, if you wish that there was something new and unique, and I'll see you all next time. Happy hunting.